Hello, everyone. This is Brandy Fox with Be the Entrepreneur, and we are here tonight with another segment of Talk It Out. I am super excited to have my homie, my
What's up?
friend. We've been down since '03, West Charlotte days,
Right.
marching
Yep.
band. We in here. Mr. Demario Page, what's up? What's up?
What's up? What's up, B? How you doing?
I'm doing good. No complaints. I'm super excited about tonight. When I
Oh
came
yeah.
up with this topic of being a full-time employee and being a full-time entrepreneur, you were legit first person that came to mind because I know we first connected when you first started with Uncle D's. I remember when you first started, and I know that, us talking about how it was working full-time and
Right.
really trying to grow that business. So I'm looking forward to you dropping some good information tonight to help people who have been considering, who are either managing their business right now as a full-time employee or they're looking to start transitioning out.
Oh yeah.
So, first thing I like to do is talk about, how, of course we said we met at West Charlotte Marching Band, but
Right.
when I have people that come on, I like them to kind of tell a little bit about themselves, what got them into entrepreneurship, their business, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Man, my story of entrepreneurship is just. I'm gonna give you the short version. Like I grew up just in a family full of entrepreneurs. From my dad, both of my grandfathers, my aunts. They all own salons and different businesses. My aunt owned her own fashion boutique parlor, so it's something that's kind of ran in my family on both sides. So just it's just something that's always been in me, kind of always want my own thing and having my own business. So, opportunity presented itself to take a talent and skill that I had, and I saw that you can, make some money, so bring in some extra money, which is always good. I took the leap, like everybody. It was just kind of a scary thing, but again, it's kind of in my blood, and I've had a great support system with friends and family, and I just took the dive and got into it.
And the donuts good. Honey, them Uncle D's, I done had them for events. People always love them. The lemon is my favorite and the red velvet. They just be all moist and delicious. And everybody cannot make a red velvet. Let me
Right.
tell you. I hate me a dry red velvet. That thing made me angry. But I ain't never had that problem with Uncle D's donuts. You can follow them on Instagram and Facebook. The donuts
Yeah.
are always amazing. And
Yeah. Thank you.
so
Thank
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You already know. So before we get into today, I want to welcome anybody that's just coming in. My name is Brandy Fox with Be the Entrepreneur Consulting Agency, and we are doing Talk It Out, which is a solution-based virtual chat to support minority entrepreneurs. So what makes this chat a little bit different than other chats is the fact that not only do we talk about the issue, but we give you action-based steps to be able to overcome the barriers in which we're discussing. So I felt like in the community, especially African American community, it's a lot of talk about the issues. Like this is wrong. Black people
you.
can't
Right.
do this. Black people can't do this. But on this platform, we're gonna bring up the issues. But not only that, we're gonna let you know how to handle these issues. So I'm excited. All right. So Mr. Mario, let's start with the benefits of being a full-time employee and running a business full-time. Let's start with the positive outside of the negative.
All right. Well, I mean, honestly, with being an entrepreneur, a hustlepreneur, it it creates a sense of urgency, and it forces you to have a mindset of discipline and time management. Because if you don't have those things, if you don't have those things, and just working by yourself, you're lost. So imagine you're trying to balance a job and hustling on the side. If you can't manage your time or you don't have good organization skills, it's going to fall apart. You have to, like I said, be organized. Time, I set stuff up. If I know I got orders and stuff coming up, I'm working out schedule. I'm putting things on my calendar. My wife is helping out. She put events and different things in my calendar, so I know what I have to do before I go to work. If I got to bake some stuff before I go to work, so she can deliver it, or if I got orders coming up that I got to bake that night. That time management, that part, and being disciplined, just sticking to that routine, because again, if you don't stick to the routines and stuff you have planned, it's going to fall apart. So that's one thing that's really helped me get better at my organization and time management skills. Because, if you don't, you can mess around and be up to 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then
I did it.
I work in construction. So, I'm hitting my site sometimes 6:30, 7, 7:30. So if I ain't managing my time, I'm in the bed by 3, I'm only getting 3 hours of sleep. So
I remember your donut stories, baking all night and then getting up and going to work. Be tired. That man be tired. He was like, I was baking all night. I'm like, dang.
So, it got me organized real quick, because I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm planning. I need to plan out so that I can function at my job, because I do, I want to be excellent in everything I do. So I want to make sure I'm functional at my job and not falling asleep or, not giving a good performance there. But I also want to make sure that I'm, giving excellent in the service and products that I produce. So you got to have discipline and time management and organization to do that.
I totally agree. That's so true. And I think the other part, when I think about it, because, I was in the same boat as you. I was a full-time social worker for 5 years while I ran Pamper Us on the side. So I definitely know how you feel. Social work is definitely a taxing field. It takes a lot of time, emotion. So to be able to do that and handle a business that I was looking to grow into a real business, that was a transition for me. But I can say on my end that one of the things I thought that was beneficial of me doing both and that people kind of overlook is the ability to learn systems. Like I really took my, I worked at the Department of Social Services, and people that know it, that's an institution. So one thing that I loved and I learned from the Department of Social Services is how to set up systems, because there's nothing but systems. Right. So seeing how we communicate across departments, leadership, all that type of stuff, I literally took all the aspects of my full-time job, and it helped me to be able to start my business, run my business, and be able to know how to grow it. Because at this, I say right now, I have like 50 people that I manage across all the businesses. I know for a fact, if I did not work at DSS and work under supervisors that I did like, supervisors I didn't like, that I did get along with, it taught me how to handle coping skills and dealing with, clients. So piggybacking off that, Mario, how do you feel that being in a full-time job, how did it benefit you as an entrepreneur going into starting Uncle D's Donuts?
Likewise, it's the same experience. So I work in project management, and so that's my main, the job is organizing, creating systems to streamline, getting a construction project from ground to, finished product. So, learning those systems of how to organize, how to plan your day, how to budget, how to schedule, are all things that I've translated into my job, into my company that I do now, because those are key things in any job, any industry of, budgeting and organization and planning and scheduling. So being in the field that I am has definitely helped me. Again, like I said, that picking up that organizational and time management skill. If I wasn't in project management, where those are key things to having a successful project, I don't know, how long it would took me to pick up those things in my business. It's something that I do every day.
Right.
So it's easy to kind of transfer it to almost everything that I do. So, the first is coming out with that plan, almost like how, scheduling the construction project, what's the start point? What's the finish point? How do you get there? And so I kind of take that into every aspect, of my life as well as my business. So that's something that's really been beneficial with my job.
And I believe, and I tell people all the time, like, it's kind of like a relationship. Like I tell people, like, it literally is like, you got to take like, I feel like you got to take the good and the bad. Like I took the good things from my job that I love. Like, okay, yeah, I like this. This work. You know what I'm saying? And I took the bad things. I'm like, okay, this is not how I'm gonna run my company. So you got to kind of think about that too. Don't overlook. I think a lot of things that I see, especially now, like the entrepreneur like world is like so crazy now. Like everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, which is cool. I love it. I'm down for it. But you know what I'm saying? People I've seen where entrepreneurs and other people are starting to look down on people that got like full-time jobs or people that's doing both. Like, you know, like if you ain't full-time, you ain't really an entrepreneur. Like you would be amazed the type of things I've seen people say about people who balance. And I think that's so crazy and unfair because that structure is what leads to most of these successful businesses. At some point, every business owner, millionaire, like I just finished reading Google, I read Elon Musk's book. Everybody has worked for somebody else. Now they might have quit, they might have got fired, and it didn't last. Right. But everybody has worked for somebody else. So I would say, my first tip for anybody that is working full time and trying to do their business on the side, number one is to take as much as you can from your job, the information, the systems, how they run it, how they open, how they close. Utilize that for your business. If you take a different mindset and approach on your job, it'll make it a lot easier. Because I see people when they start getting entrepreneurs, they're like, I'm tired of this. I'm ready to go. I'm ready. You know, you could get the itch. It's like senioritis. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you got to look past that. You got to look past your desire to want to quit, to want to jump right into entrepreneurship. Like I had one person I consulted, and they were looking to start it in like 6 months. They was like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to quit my job in 6 months. I'm like, well, you just started your business yesterday. Like, is that a feasible plan? So I said to say once again, take what you can from your job. Enjoy having that full-time job and enjoy having that steady paycheck.
Right. Absolutely.
Because we were talking about that before, about how being an entrepreneur, it can be inconsistent.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So how did that talk for you, like finances? Like how were you able to kind of manage that? Like balancing out like the finances of Uncle D's and balancing out like your home life and balance with time. Because of course, if you're working on Uncle D's, you're away from your full time. So how did you balance all that?
It's trial and error. It's definitely, it can be hard starting out because, like you say, your first thought is like, I'm gonna build this business so I can quit my job in 3 months, 6 months or whatnot. And, like you say, you just have to really have to step back and take a look at your business. Like, okay, what does my business that I have now, what are my plans? What's the finances that's coming in from this job? Will I be able to sustain myself if I were to leave my job, right now? Do I bring in enough revenue to sustain myself, and kind of start asking yourself those type of questions and, set those goals. So, I kind of get my balance of like, hey, when I'm at work, sometimes on my break, I'm kind of, taking care of business for Uncle D's. But, when I'm home, I try to spend as much time as I can with my wife and my daughter. To get that family time in, and then, I'll focus on Uncle D's. And it's still hard sometimes because, some days I do come home from work and I'm going straight to baking, and, I may, get a chance to play with my daughter for 10 to 15 minutes, but then I know like, hey, I got 5, 6 orders I got to get, made. I got to get started on them. But, when I'm not doing anything, if I don't have any orders, if I'm not working, my time is solely, focused on spending time with my family. I'm a firm believer in that, you and everything, you have time to do things that you want. You have to just sacrifice, some of the other things for the important things. And so, when I'm not working, if I'm not doing Uncle D's, I'm spending time with family. Uncle D's time is, Uncle D's time, and work time is work time. And it's important to have that balance, because when you start spilling over, when those things start spilling over each other, you start having problems. Yeah. If you get caught at work, trying to secure deals or something for your business, your boss ain't gonna be happy because they're like, oh, well, I'm paying you and you doing something else on the clock. And then vice versa. If you're trying to focus on your business, but then you're checking emails for your regular job, you're not giving your business the time it needs. Or when it's, designated family time, if you're not doing anything, you don't have anything on your plate for your job or your business, spend that time with your family. Those are moments. Time is something you can't give back at all.
That's a
Money
fact.
and all that stuff, but time is something you can't give back, so I always try to be present as much as I can with my wife and my daughter, because I don't want to miss those moments, like, her starting to crawl, her starting to walk or talk. I want to be present. I don't want to get so consumed with everything that I'm missing those moments, because I can't get them back. She take her first steps, those are first steps. If I'm not there to see them, because I'm too focused on work or my business, I can't get that back. I can't rewind that. So it's important to just to really, really hone in on balancing your life out. Because if you don't self-sacrifice something, the universe is going to sacrifice it for you, and it ain't going to be good. So.
Right. And that's a fact. That's real life right there. That's a quote. But we have a question, and we like to answer our questions live. So guys, if we talk, this is of course an open format, so we will cover everything. But if you have any questions, please drop them in the comment box. We will answer them live. Transitioning out, it's a whole process. So we want to make sure that any questions that you may have about it, that you're able to you're able to answer it. So the first question we have is from Don Ware. She's asking, when do you know it is the right time to transition out? I'm gonna let you go first, as somebody that's working on transitioning out, and then I can follow up with somebody who has transitioned out.
Okay. For me, which is why I've kind of created an exit plan, so to speak, a strategy of like, okay, where do I want my business to be? Where does my business need to be before I start transitioning or cutting myself out from my day job? And that's just something that I'm doing to kind of see what, these sales goals and financial goals that we're hitting, to kind of see where revenue is, where profitability is, to say like, okay, is this business something that I can dedicate myself fully to and be able to support myself? Because as much as people talk about passion and, loving what they're doing,
pay bills, baby.
It don't pay bills. You can be great and love and passionate about everything you do, but the cold hard facts can be, if it don't pay, you can't go to Duke Energy and be like, yo, I'm passionate about this. I'm short on my light bill, but I'm passionate about what I do. It's very likely they don't cut them lights off. So, you got to be smart about that transition of saying like, okay, am I at a place where I can remove myself from my current job and run this business full time, and a part of that exit plan for me is saving up, from my full-time job, saving up money financially to be able to sustain myself while I hit that mark and say, okay, we're at this point, but I have some cushion in case, things go wrong. You have, what we have going on now, you have like administration changes and stuff like that. You never know what the economy is going to be. So, creating that exit plan and kind of sticking to it, that can kind of, for me, is giving me the soundness of when it's time for me to start, putting my passion first versus, my job, my day job. So.
Right. And piggyback, no, that's perfect. And piggybacking off what Demario said. So of course, step one would be to create your exit plan. So your exit plan, like Mario said, is basically your plan on how you plan to get out. There are different parts of an exit plan. I'll type them in the comment section as well. But I ain't gonna try to multitask this thing. I'm gonna tell y'all, then I'm gonna type it so I can make sure I'm giving you the right stuff. So the main parts that I consider of an exit plan, of course, number one is finances. Like Demario said, finance is really, really important. You want to first see how much your revenue is bringing in, how much you're bringing in from your side hustle. Once you hit that 50, let's say you bring in $2,000 a month, $1,000 a month. So with that $2,000 a month, that means that for you to even consider that your business is ready for full-time engagement, you need to be bringing in 50% of what you already bring in. So if I bring in $2,000, that's net, that's net, all taxes out. That means that Pamper Us needs to be bringing in $1,000 before I even think about it. Mm-hmm. Because if your side business is making up that 50%, that's 50% with you working full time. Mm-hmm. That kind of lets you know that, okay, if I put like full time in this, I could be making my revenue.
Right.
So that's the first step, is checking your finances, meet that 50% mark. That's the first sign that you have a valuable business that can go full time. Did you want to add anything on that before I roll down?
No, I mean that's exactly where I'm at. It's like I said, if the revenue's not there, and sometimes that's okay. If that's not if it's not bringing in the money, like what we and you talked about before, it's like sometimes that first entrepreneur venture can be a catalyst for other things. Whether you're taking that money and you're starting to invest in other things or look into other ideas, and that could be a catalyst. Those people don't get discouraged if you don't get to that mark where it's like, okay, it's not the money I thought it was going to be. Don't give up. You can always use that towards something else or another goal, or it's always good for some good change, side pocket, money. So
Ain't nothing like that pocket change. I love me some good little pocket change, nails done, go out to eat, get a little fancy with a mask on, Perfect. So rolling right into step number 2 of the exit plan would be calculating how much you need to sell to bring in your full-time income. So going back, if we go back to my $2,000 salary. So if I make $2,000 and my business is bringing in $1,000, this is where you would go into your flip charts. And flip charts are basically big old Post-it notes that you can put on your wall. You can get them at Office Depot, Office Max. They right there behind them. Yep. Hey, if you see Uncle D right there, and literally, like I tell people every show, like if you come out, I have it all over my wall. Every wall has a flip chart on it, just because that's how it works. So you want to get that flip chart out, and you want to write down every product that you're selling, how much you're selling it for, and how much you need to sell to hit your goal. So if you're hitting 1,000, so let's say if we hitting 1,000, if we go off donuts, I'm making $1,000, and that's me selling 100 donuts. Boom. So that means I need to sell 200 donuts to get $1,000. So at this point, you need to create a plan of how you can create that extra $1,000 and get those extra customers. Because one thing you don't want to do is hop out there unprepared. You don't want to hop out in a new business with no money, no savings. That's key. Mario said that. Then you don't want to hop out with a business that does not make the revenue that you need. It's a mistake I see a lot of entrepreneurs do. They get excited, they get hit. They're like, you know what? I'm tired of being up in here. I'm out. And then you get out, and like it get real. That $1,000, it look good when you working a full-time job, but that I don't care where you live in. Definitely not in Charlotte. You ain't making nowhere at $1,000 a month. Like that's heavy prayer right there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. But piggyback off of that, it's like, you need to know exactly what you need to sell each month to hit those revenue and profit goals. And another thing for me, for anything, if you're providing a product or service, your pricing, you have to make sure you're within that range of, where your competitors are. You can have a really good product and it may sell, but if you're trying to increase the price so you can decrease the quantity that you have to sell, you're going to price yourself out. So, you might be able to hit that goal if you can sell, sell a donut at $7, you can hit your goal faster, but how many people are going to pay $7 a donut? You know what I'm saying? So, you have
kind of donut's going to get $7 from me.
Right. So you have to be realistic in a sense with your pricing. Like, okay, I know that I can't sell my product more than, I'm just throwing a number that, let's say I know I can't sell my product more than $5, but what's the likelihood if I'm selling it at $5 and still my competitors are at, $3.50 or $4, I can hang on to this $5, or, if I'm in that competitive price range, I know I have to pump out a little bit more. But, like you said, developing that strategy and say, okay, if I got to sell 1,000 donuts, where am I focused at? I'm going to be focusing on individual sales to people, or do I want to, focus on wholesale deals or getting them into restaurants or coffee shops, gas stations, wherever, you can create a better plan. If you know your goals, like you said, if you're just jumping out there and don't know what you're doing, you're going to fall quick and hard. So.
Right. Don't jump. Don't dive. Like, take a leap of faith, but even that takes preparation. Like, you got to leap with preparation faith, like, not just like faith. You know, you got to have something. So I totally agree. And rolling to step 3, like we already talked about, create that flip chart, write down your products, its selling price, determine how much you need to sell per week to be able to meet your revenue goals. So that would be step 3. And like I said, you can get those from your local Office Depot. Like Walmart and stuff don't sell them like that. You really have to go to like a
Office Depot or art and craft store like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's. They sell those type of things too. So
yeah, I had a little brain for it. Like I was struggling. Like I was like,
or Amazon. You know, Amazon got everything. So
right. So rolling right into step 4, and we're just gonna give y'all kind of 6 main tips on this area before we transition on to the rest of the evening. So going into step 4, Mario already said it, but determining your lanes of revenue. So I can use my business, Pamperess Mobile Massage Service, as an example. So for my business, massage therapy was not enough. Like if I was to, I've never did just what I did when I first started in 2011, but I knew that the way massage therapy was moving, the industry of massage therapy, knowing your industry, knowing the trends, where it's going, I knew that massage therapy by itself would not be enough for me to leave my job and sustain my lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So with that way, because of that, that caused me to think outside the box. What else can I offer with massage therapy to be able to meet my clientele and make sure that I'm able to create an innovative product that can grow with my clients? Mm-hmm. That's what I always like to tell my people. Like, you have to have a product that can grow, because if you do not grow, you will be left behind, regardless of what sector you in. Like, even in donuts, like, Mario, what are some things that you've had to like kind of pivot with Uncle D's Donuts as far as like staying innovative and making sure that your clients still want to taste those delicious treats?
You know, it's been a lot of different avenues, you know, marketing, you know, like you said, staying in our lane. You know, I have a lot of other things that I want to bring to market. You know, my goal, my 5-year plan is to focus on this product, but switch it up, you know, the different flavors that we offer, different specials, and, you know, how we bring them to market, how we introduce our products. You know, our thing is that we want to be simple. You know, you got a lot of stuff out there with a lot of crazy toppings and everything. We want to bring you a good product that's, you know, good and delicious, and, you know, it's simple, you know, but again, we switch it up, you know, so different seasons, we have different flavors. You know, Christmas time, we have our Christmas themed stuff, our Thanksgiving themed stuff, Halloween. But, you know, you can't be content. You know, you can't just say, here it is. You know, if for us, I know we're not exactly changing our products, but, you know, how we're marketing and how we're getting it out there is what has allowed us to still be able to make sales, and our focus. You know, like what I said, you know, can I sell $1,000 worth of, you know, can I sell 1,000 donuts in individual orders? Probably, you know, we sell a lot, but, you know, not as much as if I got a restaurant or cafe that are buying, you know, 100 a week, 200 a week. You know, I'm hitting those goals faster. So that's one of the things we just kind of, you know, focus in, staying in that lane of who we're going to target, you know, where is our revenue going to come from, and kind of sticking with that.
Exactly. So thank you. So yeah, that's important. I love how you got the holiday themes. Like, that's important for what you do, to make sure that you're staying innovative and staying in touch with your clients' needs. So y'all, that is step number 4. Determine your lanes of revenue. Think about your business. Think about all the ways that your business can make money. Because every stream of revenue, that's adding on. That's adding to your bottom line. That's getting you closer to that 2,000 full-time revenue that you need to pull it out. You just got to be creative in how you make money. Think outside the box. I'm really big on brain dump. Like I do a lot of traveling. I do a lot, but I do a lot of downtime too. So for me, during my downtime, like, I'll literally I got a notebook by my bed. Like, I have notebooks everywhere just in case I get an idea. I got to jot it down in my car. But the one by my bed, look.
I got recipes, you know, everything.
Yeah. Everything. Notebooks are key. If you're an entrepreneur and you don't have like thought notebooks, you slipping, because I have so many ideas that I wrote down in a notebook, and I go back and I'm like, girl, like, you already thought about this idea. You ain't even got to reprogram it. You just kind of bring it from your notes. So, I can say, yeah, determine your lanes of revenue. Get as much money as you can from as many different ways as you can. That way, if something shut down, you can kind of like bounce back for it. So, for example, like with Pamper Us, like corporate was prior to COVID, corporate was like my cash cow. Like I had contracts with a lot of amazing companies. You know, if you get a corporate contract, like Uncle D was saying, get that corporate contract, because corporations, they pay. They ain't asking too many questions. They're going to ask you for a service. They're going to tell you the quantity. They're going to ask you for an invoice. They're going to pay that thing. Right, they my favorite type. But when COVID hit in March, you know, all the business shut down. So like almost 55% of my revenue legitly outside of having to shut down was gone in March. So I'm like I'm holding on. Like, I'm like, Lord. But, you know, it worked out because I think what we was talking about earlier, Mario, is using kind of those, using those bad parts of entrepreneurship to kind of push you in other areas. So the fact that my business part was down during that time, it made me focus on my residential more. Now, you know, at the end of 2020, my residential made more than my corporate has ever made. So, just kind of pivoting and using those opportunities. But I said it again, determine your lanes of revenue, any way that you can make money, add it to your business plan, and figure out how you can make it profitable. Right. So rolling right into step 5, and Mario, you covered this. Start with a savings plan. You got to determine, so what you want to do with that savings. Well, I'm going to let Mario talk about this because he's good with the numbers and stuff. That man, he was breaking down. He was helping me with my daughter and her baking business. He was breaking down the numbers. He was like, yeah, you got to break it down by the sugar, by the pebbles. I'm like, so you out here counting the sugar pebbles? Like,
every ounce you gotta know. It's like, this cup of sugar cost me 55 cents. You gotta know. I'd be like, oh, what's it? The Pops from Everybody Hates Chris. I know everything. It's gotta come like that.
Funny. Hey, I love that show.
I mean, like, that savings plan is ideal. Here, you know, who was it? I think I listened to read a lot of Damon John and Gary Vee. You know, all of them talk about, you know, if you're working, you know, it's, you know, before you take that leap, you know, make that money, you know, you're learning on someone else's dime, so to speak, you know, but use that money to your advantage. If you know, blessed enough with a job that brings in, you know, good income, you know, instead of splurging on that Louis bag or whatever it is, you know, put that money aside if you are, you know, if you want to, you're building a business, because you're going to need it. You know, like you said, you never know what the situation is going to be. So you want to have some cushion. You know, you take that dive, but, you know, you want to prepare yourself. You know, we hear those success stories like, oh, I didn't have anything and I dived out there and I made it, which is true. But sometimes those people don't tell you about, you know, I lost my car, I lost my house, and all that stuff. They don't talk about that rough side, you know, and which is cool, you know, because some people don't want to hear that struggle side of it. But the truth of the matter is, you know, entrepreneurship is not for the weak at heart. It's not for the faint. You know, you got to be strong. You have to physically, mentally, and emotionally prepare yourself for it. And finances is one of those things that kind of controls all 3 aspects. You know, if you think about finances in a person's life, controls them physically, mentally, and emotionally. Because when that money ain't looking right, you be moping around, you be sad, you have no energy. You know, so, you know, preparing yourself financially, you know, but when you got a little money in the bank, you got a little pep in your step. You
got a little bank hand bounce. You know, the sun shine a little brighter.
Right. So, you know, you want to, you got to be disciplined with your money. It's like, you might want that, you know, you might want that new TV or whatnot. But it's like, nah, I'm building my business. You know, I'm going to put this 300 back, this 400 back. And you get, you know, 3 to 6 months, you know, whatever you're comfortable with, you know, 6 months, like in everything, you know, that's a good cushion to have.
That's ideal.
Because, you know, that's 6 months, you know, how I say it, I try to do 6 months of, you know, where I'm at now, what's my lifestyle, you know, what bills am I paying? You know, what are my fixed bills? You know, so if I need $2,000 a month, you know, I want to make sure, hey, I got, you know, $12,000 or more, you know, saved up from my income, you know, and that gives you a little bit of peace of mind where it's like, all right, I didn't have a good month, so I got a little bit to help pay my bills. Because when you out there, like I said, you can't go to Duke Power and be like, hey, I'm passionate, I'm out here working.
I'm passionate. Yeah, you're gonna be passionate in the dark, baby.
Yeah,
With the
you know what I'm
candle.
saying? So yeah, definitely you got to prepare yourself, because again, that's gonna, whether people believe or not, that it does affect you physically, emotionally, and it take a toll on you and your business. Because if you ain't there physically and mentally, because your finances ain't right,
Your business gonna fail.
you're not gonna be able to give the excellence service or product that your customers and clients deserve, because you're too worried about keeping the bills paid. And it's always a worry, but like I said, you got a little bit of confidence when you got some money behind you.
Amen.
So
no, I agree. So just piggybacking off that. So if you are planning to transition out, you want to have a minimum of 3 months of savings. That's the absolute minimum. That's like if you had a job and you can't take it. Like if I go up in here one more time and baby girl look at me, she might catch these hands.
right.
Like that's where, like that's where you at. If you there, then 3 months might be for you, because we don't want you to catch a case. If so, that's 3 months of your revenue. I mean, of your budget, like your monthly budget. You want to have enough to pay all your bills, and you want to have a little bit more, like gas, emergencies, those type of things. So going back to what Mario said, if your monthly bills are $2,000. Your absolute minimum you should have saved is 12. You know what I'm saying? For the 6-month plan. But I would say to be comfortable, if something come up, cars, because it seems like every time you jump out on a limb, that's when everything want to fall apart. Air conditioning unit. But I gotta tell this. Air conditioning unit, it went out. Homeowners. Y'all, the lady came. The piece that she put into that air conditioning unit was like the size of my pinky. $350. She was back, y'all. She was in the backyard for all of 3 minutes. She was like, yeah, what are you? And I was like, over there. She went out there. She came back. She was like, all done. I'm like, she was like, yeah, we just had to replace this. $350. I mean, but that's real life. That happens. And like I said, ironically enough, it always happens right when you transition out or right when you got a plan. So you want to have the extra buffer for that as well. And in closing, for the steps of transitioning out, I would say step 6 for me, or the last step, would be to get yourself mentally prepared. Mentally prepared, because people think that I'm gonna tell you this, and this is from experience. How you run your business as a full-time employee is totally different from how you run your business as an entrepreneur. I had to learn it. Like I was used to kind of being a social worker during the day and then doing Pamper Us in between. So like it got to a point where I was working Pamper Us all day. I really didn't know what to do sometimes. Like, I felt like I was wasting time. Like some days I'm like, okay, maybe I should post, or maybe I should do this. And I found myself wasting a lot of time because I didn't have a imperative action system in place. So, and what I mean by imperative action system, that's basically what you do every day to balance out what you're doing. So if you are a full-time business owner and entrepreneur, one step I would say that I would use, and Mario, we can kind of alternate. I share, a tip, and you can share one. But I know for me, one tip for me is as soon as I get up in the morning, like it's straight prayer meditation. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the first thing I do to get my day in line. And not saying that has to be yours, maybe praying that, whatever you're getting in connected with yourself, your higher power. I always suggest that being your initial start, because it gets your mind right for the day. It puts you in a positive headspace. It kind of gives you the ability to jump into your day and be productive in your day. So that's how I start my day. Mario, what's some of the things you do to kind of create your imperative action system to be able to run both of your businesses?
I mean, that's the same thing. I try to use that in everything I do. From Brandon Bouchard always says, take a transitional time between what you're doing throughout your day. When you wake up, you take a brief, that reflection period of, okay, I just woke up, and kind of I like to visualize my day in a sense before I kind of get started writing things down, what I got to do. And then I transition into planning out my day. I try to get up early. Now with my 5-month-old, it's kind of hard sometimes because she ain't going to sleep late. I ain't going to sleep late, so it'd
Baby
be
girl
hard
out here living her
to get
best
up.
life.
But before I'm heading out, I'm trying to plan my day. Like, hey, do I got orders tonight? Okay, how many orders do I have? Do I have orders this morning? What I got going on at work. I plan out. I go to different sites and stuff throughout the day. So I even throw it in the plan. Say, okay, I'm gonna be this far out. All right, what can I take care of on my lunch break? And I transition into that. And again, taking your mind to really, the big thing for me is transitioning into that next phase. When you work your full-time job, taking a moment kind of to calm yourself down and breathe and say, okay, I'm transitioning into handling my personal business.
And it's exciting. I used to get
Yeah.
excited. I'm like, baby, it's pamper us time. Let's go. Where we at,
I mean, for
bro?
me, I guess my wife always said I hype about it, but I'm just kind of all right. I get just calm. It's like, all right, I want to just be, calm and relax. And I think, me probably, I just think like that, but that transition of kind of planning out today and what you need to do. I front load in a sense. If you ever heard it, I kind of front load a lot of my work. So when I have free time, which is really not a such thing for me right now, it's like I'm always looking ahead or doing something to make to make something else easier for me. So when I got large orders, I may go ahead and prep doing like icing and boxes and packaging the night before. So after I'm baking, they're ready to go in versus doing all that stuff at one time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So having those little things in place, like, okay, I got a big order coming up Thursday. So Wednesday, all right, you're making icings, you getting the boxes ready, you're making sure all the label and the packaging are good. So as soon as those things come out the oven, you boxing, icing them and getting them out the door. Again, it's a little bit of it's that front loading time because me doing that on a Wednesday instead of relaxing and watching a football game, now I can go to bed at, my regular time or 10 or 11 versus trying to do all that one night and going to bed at 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying?
Procrastination is entrepreneur death. I'm telling you, procrastination is entrepreneur death. That is the quickest way. Like a lot of my clients that are struggling, it's due to procrastination, like waiting to the last minute to do stuff. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I'm a natural. I say that from experience. I am a natural procrastinator. Like I'm gonna be real. And if I can wait to look in college, if I could turn that paper in 11:58 p.m., baby, I'm in there at 11:58. My homegirl, she was like, "Yeah, girl, I turned mine in at 7 yesterday." I'm like, "Girl, I'm gonna submit at 11:59 and hoping on strike 12 and they decline it."
Yeah, no, I feel you. I mean, it was definitely something that was hard for me to transition over to because like everyone, you wanna have free time, you want to chill because you just want to have that downtime. But I realize it works in the end for me when I front load my work on the back end. It makes it easier, again for me to finish up my product again because I'm not trying to bake, make icing, and all that stuff. I'm sacrificing that little bit of me time, for my business, or for whatever I have to do, so I can, so that I could still, focus on baking. Because when I'm baking, I want to be worried about just baking. I don't want to be like, oh man, he like, man, I gotta bake, and I got another 2 hours of making icing, and I got another hour and a half of packaging. Like, nah, if I take that, 4 hours a day before, all I know, all right, I got 3 hours worth of baking, and it's gonna take me an hour to package everything because I got the icing and all that stuff made. All I got to do, pop those bottles out, ice them, and they done. You know what I'm saying? So that little bit of that 4 hour sacrifice, save me 6 hours or save out, 7 hours that next day. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. And it makes sure your product's good because that last minute, it can also affect the product that you give. And you always want to make sure that, when you give your client stuff, you're giving them full service. So I love one of the words you've used consistently since we've been talking, which is sacrifice. Sacrifice is a requirement of entrepreneurship, regardless of what that'll look like for you. Like I know I used to be a real big TV buff. Like I don't even watch TV anymore. Like I literally might catch a Netflix show if I see it on Facebook too many times and people like, you need to watch. I'm like, you know what? Let me watch this. But outside of that, like I don't watch TV in my room. Like I have one, I don't watch it. I literally, so that was a sacrifice for me. And whatever that might be, your time, you got to remember, like when you balancing full-time employee, being a full-time employee and being an entrepreneur, your time is everything, legitly. So every minute, like Mario said, like when I worked at DSS, every free minute that I had, like that was literally pamper us. Like if I'm on a lunch break, you can ask any of my coworkers, you might see me like on the phone, taking a client, you know, calling the corporation back. Like I literally used every free minute focus on pamper us. And I did that because I knew at that time that this is a business that can give me what's most important to me, which is freedom. Freedom is like, I like money. You know, I mean, everybody love money, but money doesn't fuel me. It's freedom. I love to be able to do what I want, how I want, when I want. Don't got to worry about nothing. So I feel like when you find your passion and find out what's important, you know, it'll be easy to sacrifice those things that are not adding value to your goals.
All right. Yeah. Like I said earlier, you know, you got to be prepared to sacrifice. You got to self-sacrifice, or, you know, the universe is going to do it for you. So, you know, you sacrifice a little bit of sleep, a little bit of free time to take care of your business. But if you try to do everything, you know, or try to force it, you know, something's going to slip. And the worst thing is you don't want it to be your business or your job or your family that slips because, you know, you want to hold on to that little bit of TV time or whatever, you know, and it's fine. You know, if you're a content person or something, it's like, oh, I'm good where I'm at, you know, then, you know, watch TV. But if you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to go full source, you know, you're going to have to sacrifice that TV, or either, you know, you sacrificing time with your family or whatever, you know, it's up to you as a person. Me personally, I don't want to sacrifice that. So, you know, I give up my TV time. I give up my wife knows, all my friends know. I used to be heavy on Call of Duty and all that stuff. I don't even touch my PlayStation sometimes for like 2 or 3 weeks, you know.
Right. It's crazy, right? How it used to be like a part of your daily life, and now like you're going 3 weeks without even touching it.
Yeah. So you got to give it up. I mean, PlayStation, I don't plan on going into esports, so it ain't paying no bills. So, you know, I got to give it up. So
gotta give it up. So we already talked about the tips. So as we kind of round out and we kind of like get into our closing point, number one, I first want to say, if anybody that is watching, if you have any questions, anything that we have not covered, or something that's kind of been on your mind, you're looking to transition out, please post it in the comment section. We are answering comments live. We want to make sure that everybody is watching is comfortable. We want to make sure that you know what you need to do to transition out, because y'all know my goal is to create as many successful African-American entrepreneurs as I can. So these tips that we're giving today are all keys to that. So please don't be shy. I'm friendly. Look at that smile. Okay? You know, Mario, he the plug. He real cool, though. Don't let the coolness fool you. You know, he down. He cool. So we got you. If you have any questions, don't forget to text us. But in closing, I would say the most important thing when you are running a business and being a full-time employee is to focus on your talents and outsource the rest. And I say that because sometimes, like at the beginning, I got caught up in tasks that I was not good at. Like I'm not, like I remember I tried to create my own logo when I first started. I don't know what I was thinking. Like I'm not even like, I'm creative, but I'm not like artistically creative. Like I can't visualize something in my mind and just create it. I can do it business wise, just not art wise. So like when I saw that first logo, y'all, I was just like embarrassed. Like, and I made myself so mad. I spent like a week on it, tweaking it, and a little word here, and it was still garbage. So at that point, I realized, okay, Brandy, you can't do this logo. Like you want to bootstrap, but you got to know this not your lane. Graphic design is not your lane, sis. Let's go ahead and rotate that over. And knowing when to hire somebody and when to utilize outside resources to be able to grow your business, especially the perfect time is when you have your full-time job, because you have that steady income to support you. Right. So that way you're able to use the revenue from your business to grow your business. Because once you go out full-time, you gotta not only are you spending your business revenue on paying yourself, you gotta pay all your business expenses as well. Get that. Like yeah, I gotta pay myself. I ain't even gonna tell y'all how long I sacrificed like paying myself. Like it's been times where I paid my whole team and I ain't make nothing, literally. And you know, that's the sacrifice that I made. So just knowing your talents, knowing what you can do, and knowing what can't do. And like I said, time is important. Why waste your time on it when you can pay somebody that knows what they're doing to do it? Use your full time to support your part time. I mean, to support your business. There's nothing wrong with that. And reinvest.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about the reinvestment process. We was just talking about investing.
Yeah. I mean, like, people a little bit, like you said, it goes back to what we said earlier, staying in your lane. If you don't know how to create spreadsheets or track cost and sales, it's all right to get someone to set that stuff up for you or run it for you. When done correctly, when you outsource, it increases your output. It should increase your revenue because you're focusing on what you specialize in. Like you said, I don't do graphic design. So, when we came, I put together a little concept and I sent it out, to have people design it for me because I was like, I can't afford to spend all my time trying to design a logo. I put that thing on. I put that thing on Fiverr. And I was like, all right, I need someone to design it for me. And, they got it done. But though outsourcing is an investment in your business, I've been blessed enough that my wife is really good with social media and marketing and stuff. So she handles that for us. And that's
Come
something
on, black couple, black love.
so we don't, that's something that we don't necessarily have to outsource. But, that in itself, like marketing, is a whole different animal. It takes a lot of time to, you can have the best product, best service in the world, but if you can't market it, you don't have the time to properly market it, ain't nobody gonna buy it from you. And so, look at my wife, that's what she's good at. She's been able to handle that while I handle the production end, the graphic design and stuff like that. If you're focusing, if you're too down in the weeds, too much bootstrapping, you're not going to focus on what you do best. And it's okay starting out, but when you get to that point, it's like, all right, I can't do this marketing, I can't do the graphics, I can't, do the sales and revenue. It's okay to give that to someone else because, like we said, you can't get that time back, and that's time you can be perfecting your product or your service, but you're too busy trying to put together a social media campaign. So
right, you don't know nothing about social media campaigns. Stressed out.
So it's like I said again, doing it correctly, investing in that portion, it's going to bring you more revenue. So that's what you need to, focus on, getting those things out, and it'll bring in the revenue you need, as long as you're focusing on making that product perfect. So when that marketing is bringing people in, you're delivering on your end with that product. And that's really what it is. That's a big investment in outsourcing. It's a big investment, but it has a huge payoff when it's done correctly. So
I totally agree. You are absolutely correct. So lastly, in closing, you want to focus on working on your business and not in your business. That is the goal of entrepreneurship, transitioning from being that worker. Like I remember when I first started Pamper Us, I went to every Pamper party. Every weekend. Like I was only open on Saturdays and Sundays when I first started, and I literally went to every appointment. So when I got to like year 4, like right when I had went full time and I didn't have to go to these appointments, I'm like, my people can go out here by themselves. Like it was so like I felt so unstoppable. I'm like, oh shoot, this what freedom feel like. I'm like, okay, let me hire more people. Let me get more on the team. And the key is to get people that align with your values, your goals. I made that mistake at the beginning. I was just kind of hiring anybody. I'm like, I need you. But I realized that put a negative effect on my business as well. You know what I'm saying? I was, it made me mad, because now I got people who are not aligned with me that are trying to sell my business and it's failing. So be selective in who you outsource to and who you work with. Listen to yourself. Like, vibes. If you're a vibe person, energy, whatever your word is, listen to it. If you meet somebody and that vibe is off, their energy is off, or they say something that doesn't align with your business purpose, move on. Because at the end of the day, it's going to cause you more harm than you need. Well, harm than help. That's the word. I was trying to get it together. I'm like, dang, what's the saying? But we got it in there. But all right. So anybody, once again, Brandy Fox would be the entrepreneur consulting agency, and we specialize in strategizing, implementing, and empowering new and aspiring entrepreneurs by walking you step by step through the entrepreneurship process. We start from the vision phase, with you telling us the kind of business you want, and we take you all the way. We hold your hand. We a family. Like once you with me, we a crew. Like we dap it up and everything virtually.
Right.
And we literally walk you through all the way to be able to pitch your business to investors. So one of the ways that we do this is by our suite of programs. So we have our ebook that how to start a business in 30 days. It is a 8-series ebook. It includes 8 books that tell you exactly how to go through self-evaluation, how to evaluate your business, competitive analysis, everything. You can do it at your own time, on your own pace. So like if you're an entrepreneur, you've been thinking about it, but you're like, I ain't ready yet. By getting this ebook, you're able to kind of start planning your business out so you can start to get ready for it. Other services that we offer at Be the Entrepreneur is our Institute of Entrepreneurship. That is going to be starting March 1st. That is basically our open forum that's just going to have a lot of videos, 1-minute mini clips talking about different type of business problems that you have, including some of the tips that we talked about today, how to transition out of your business, talking about how to market on social media. I've really grasped Facebook ads this year. It's been very beneficial, like crazy beneficial. So I plan to post a video on how to use Facebook ads to target your target market. So those are certain things that you can learn there. Of course, we have the ebook series, and that is a picture of that there for you. And we have our Be the Entrepreneur Academy that is going to be launching March 1st. I'm super excited about that. Just like the ebook, you will actually have mentors and experts in the area that you're working on. So when you go to that market evaluation portion, we have a one-on-one mentor that's going to work with you to get you that part done. When you get to budgeting, I have an accountant that you will work with that's going to show you how to budget. So not only are you getting the support of the ebooks that you can keep on your own, you're getting that expert advice that's able to walk you through it. So that way, my goal is for you not to feel alone in this process, because it can be lonely. And you agree, Mario?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it can get lonely out here when you're trying to figure out everything, like how much does something cost? How much does this look? How do I do that? So we eliminate all that thought process. You ain't even got to think about it. You hop into the program, and we're going to guide you step by step through it. And lastly, we have the Tribe. That is going to be our online learning hub where you'll have the ability to get monthly worksheets, workbooks to kind of get you going with your business. And that's also for entrepreneurs who are not ready right now, but they're thinking about it. So regardless of where you are in entrepreneurship, Be the Entrepreneur does have the products that you need to kind of grow your business the way you need to at your own pace. There's no rush. Wherever you at, that's where we're going to meet you at. And you can follow us, and I'm gonna put Uncle D information on here too, y'all. I'm telling y'all, these donuts, I'm not lying, they amazing. Get the red velvet and the red mint. I mean, they all good. They're my favorite.
Hell yeah, we got you. Definitely. We let's say, man, we trying to make moves. I'm trying to be like you, Brandy. I'm trying to be like you when I grow up. You got everything going on. You know what I'm saying?
Don't be chill. This heavy prayer right here. I told you what I do every morning. Boy, I gotta get up. I gotta thank the Lord. I'm like, Lord, let me make it through this day.
No, man, it's great. You know, like you said, you know, this is exactly what you need. You know, and then the people that are out there, I'm a student at heart, so I'm always looking to learn, and you know, this is something that I wanted, you know, kind of started out, you know. So for everyone out there that's listening, definitely take advantage of it, because like Brandy said, it can be lonely. And if you don't have a good network, if you don't have a good, you know, a place to get resources like this, you know, it can be overwhelming, and it can make you, you know, quit before you really even start, you know. And,
right.
You know, having the right network, you know, having a group of friends, and then having a group of entrepreneurial friends, you know, is a big difference, because they're encouraging you to, like, yeah, you can do this. You can build this business. Where, you know, you may have friends that are, you know, encourage you to go, but they don't really know what it takes to really to build a business, you know. So having that network and those resources can really make a difference, whether you know, hit the ground running or fall flat. So definitely, you know, Brandy is, you know, like I said, the hustle queen. You know, knowing her from where we were in high school to where she is now, like, you know, I'm always, you know, proud to be like, oh yeah, that's my girl, that's my friend. We're like, oh, I hear people be like, oh, you ever heard of Pamper Us? You ever heard of Brandy? Oh yeah, like, yeah, me, Brandy, yeah, that's my girl. Like, we know each other high school. Okay. We involved in some groups together. It's like, yeah, you know, Brandy, you know, she's an awesome person. So I'm always proud of doing stuff. So yeah, y'all definitely whatever Brandy's doing, it's one is legit. It's definitely, she's out here trying to help everybody, she's trying to help everybody get it. So, she's got it out there. Definitely take advantage of it, because you're not going to, she's helped my wife with some things. So, she's definitely about her business. She's definitely about helping people grow and get to where they want to be as entrepreneurs. So, man, if it's out there, y'all need to get it. Y'all need to go get it right now from Brandy. You know what I'm saying? So don't slack on it.
Boy, you gotta gassing me up on this live. I gassing me. In closing, I am doing a free giveaway of 2 free 30-minute consultation sessions. In this session, you got 30 minutes to pick my brain on any startup question, revenue, anything that you have. I will give to you for free for 30 minutes for 2 people. And you only got to do 2 things. Go to my Instagram, share 1 post on your story, share 1 post on your page, tag me. First 2 people to do it, I'll reach out to you. We'll set up your appointment, and you literally have access to me for 30 minutes to pick my brain, anything you want to ask. I'm not going to say I know everything, but I feel like I have a strong, vast knowledge of startup business, and I feel like I can meet your needs. So
yeah, y'all better start clicking. Y'all better get on it.
Right.
Y'all better get on it.
Get this free session. So once again, 2 free 30-minute sessions. All you have to do is go to my Instagram. It is b.the_entrepreneur. Share any post. I don't care which one it is. Share any post on your story and share it on your page. Tag me. First 2 people, I got you. I'm going to hit you up tonight, and we're going to set up an appointment for next week, and we're going to go ahead and get those visions and transition them into real businesses. So, Mario, thank you again for coming. It's always good when we link up.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me, man. And out of all the people, I'm really, really honored that you chose me. Because you know me, I'm out here trying to get it. I just be, so to have me on, and like I said, you're someone that I admire. For you to choose me, I was like, wow, Brandy want me on there. Like, all right,
you're so crazy. You're so crazy.
I'm trying to be like her, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm so happy to be here and just to share what I know, and hopefully it's been some encouragement to people out there to, it's okay to be in the middle, to work and try to build your business. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not going to be successful, or you can't, it can't be a good business because you're doing both, because that ain't true, so
it's not true.
So, definitely everybody who's out there who's getting started, be encouraged, build yourself up mentally, physically, emotionally, because it's going to be a journey.
But it's worth it. It's worth it. Being an entrepreneur was the best decision I could have made in my life. I put it in my top 5 decisions that I made. Like, I'm so excited about it. And every hardship was worth where I'm at now. I wouldn't trade, not a moment. I don't really live with regrets.
Yeah.
So
it develops
you.
Yeah, it definitely gives you some development care to, it make you strong, it's going to make you stronger. So definitely, big ups to you and just everyone out there that's starting their journey, stick with it. You can do it. Reach out to me like Brandy, I'm always willing to help, because I'm just like her and just like everyone. I started out. I'm not by any means what you want to say expert, but man, any knowledge that I got, anything that I learned, I want to pass it along, because I want to see everybody win. So, definitely if anything I can do, anything you need help with, reach out to me. We're on Instagram, Uncle D, I got you best way I can, you know what I'm saying?
Perfect. And if you missed it, I just typed in the comments how you can be one of our free winners of a free 30-minute session. Once again, before we close out, all you got to do is go to my page at b.the_entrepreneur. Share any post to your page and your story. Tag me in it. First 2 people, you get a consultation. We'll set it up tonight, and we'll schedule you out for next week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Mario, thank you again. And, we're going to link up later.
Oh, yeah. You already know.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right, guys.